You taking it upstairs?
No.
Why not? Why not take it upstairs?
Because I have my phone down here too.
I'm 25 now, but I still remember that New Year's Eve like it happened yesterday. I was 7. My brother Lucas was 4. Our parents had been invited to some fancy party at a hotel downtown, and they'd hired Jade to watch us. She was 19, a college student who babysat to pay for textbooks. We've had her before. Lucas loved her because she played with us instead of just staring at her phone. She showed up at around 7 that night, wearing jeans and an oversized sweater. Her blonde hair was pulled back into a ponytail. She brought coloring books and promised to let us stay up until 11 to watch the ball drop on TV.
Your parents will be back around 1,
she said, plopping down on our couch.
So we're gonna have the best New Year's Eve ever, okay?
Lucas was already showing her his new action figures while I was pretending to be too old for babysitters. Everything was normal until around 11:15. Suddenly, we heard a woman's terrified shrieks from the corridor outside, followed by breaking glass. Jade's head snapped toward the door. She stood up slowly, telling us to stay put while she checked the peephole. I saw her face go pale. What's happening? She didn't answer. Just grabbed her phone and dialed 911.
On that high.
I heard her whisper into it.
There's someone in the building. We're on the 8th floor.
God.
Apartment 804. Please hurry.
She hung up, then turned to us with a smile, while her eyes were filled with fear.
Guys, we're gonna play a game, okay? We're gonna hide in the bathroom, really quiet like ninjas. Do that?
Lucas thought it sounded fun, but I knew something was wrong. Jade grabbed our hands and led us to the bathroom. She lifted Lucas into the tub first, then me, and pulled the shower curtain closed.
No matter what happens, you two stay in here.
Jade, what's going on? I whispered.
Just promise me, Alex. Promise you'll stay here with Lucas.
I promised. She started to leave, then stopped and knelt beside the tub, looking at us through the curtain.
I need you to be brave, okay? Trust me. I'm going to keep you safe.
Lucas and I sat in the dark bathtub, listening. For a while, there was nothing, except the sound of our breathing and the distant hum of the building's heating system. Then, we heard footsteps in the hallway outside our apartment. They were loud and stopped at each door. I held Lucas close, covering his mouth with my hand. My chest felt like it was going to explode as I kept listening. The footsteps stopped outside our door. There was a long silence before the doorknob rattled. I heard Jade's voice, muffled but clear enough.
The door's locked. The police are coming. Just leave.
There was a short pause before something heavy slammed against the door. Jade's screamed numbed our ears. I was shaking, and so was my little brother. We heard a crash, like furniture being knocked over, followed by the sound of running footsteps. Lucas started crying in my arms, but I clamped my hand tighter over his mouth. Whoever broke in was wearing a black ski mask. He was holding a meat chopper. His fingertips were dripping blood. He took a step toward the tub, but just as he was about to open, Jade screamed.
Hey! Over here!
The man spun around and ran. I heard him chasing her, heard her footsteps pounding toward the stairwell, and the heavy door slam open. Then there were sounds of shouting and sirens. The cops had showed up. Everything happened fast after that. Officers flooded the building. Someone pulled us out of that bathtub. A female cop wrapped us in blankets and asked if we were hurt. I was shaking so bad, I couldn't even answer. "Where's Jade?" I kept asking. They didn't answer. My parents came running in about 20 minutes later. Both of them were crying, holding us so tight it hurt. They kept saying we were safe, that it was over, but I didn't feel safe because I saw them wheeling someone out on a stretcher. I saw the blood on the white sheet and a blonde ponytail hanging off the side. That night, Jade almost died saving us. She was beaten so badly
Dang.
that when the police arrived, she was unconscious. She had broken ribs, a fractured skull, and some kind of bleeding inside her body. She had to spend 2 weeks in the hospital. The man they arrested was named Jax Ryder. He'd been released from jail 3 days earlier and was looking for the guy who testified against him. The guy lived on our floor, but Jax didn't know which apartment. So he was going door to door, attacking anyone who got in his way. He would have killed us, hadn't Jade led him away. I visited her in the hospital after she woke up. She could barely talk. Her face was covered in bruises. But when she saw me, she tried to smile.
You stayed in the town.
She whispered. I nodded and broke down. Even the 7-year-old me knew I owed my life to that girl. Jade recovered eventually, but she never babysat again. She moved to a different city for grad school. My parents paid her medical bills, set up a fund for her college, and tried to find the words to express what she'd done for us. Lucas and I are adults now. We both have our own lives, our own apartments, and our own problems. But every New Year's Eve, we meet at Jade's place. We order pizza, watch the ball drop, and remember the night a 19-year-old girl chose to put herself between 2 kids and a monster. She saved our lives, and we shall never forget it.
This robotic puppy is so lifelike, it actually fooled my neighbour who's a veterinarian. I've been a grandmother for 15 years.
I was working overnight shift at the hospital that 2 in New Year's Eve. I needed the money, honestly. The blizzard started around 11:30 and accelerated to the point where you can't see 5 feet in front of you. I was watching IMR Scary Tales on YouTube when I heard someone slam against the front door. I buzzed him in, and he basically fell through the entrance, soaked in blood. He was breathing hard, and his eyes kept darting around. I hit a deer. My car went off the road. It's stuck in a ditch about a mile back. Please, help. I went into from watching scary stories to being in one. Are you hurt? Is this your blood? No, it's the deer's. Thing came out of nowhere. His teeth were clattering. I pushed up the heat, grabbed some gauze, and started clearing the blood off. The guy was unshaven and had tattoos creeping up his neck. Naturally, I was a bit alarmed, so I squinted closer, and that's when I noticed the consistency of the blood. It was too thick and dark. My uncle hunts, so I've seen deer blood plenty of times. I could swear it wasn't it. Where exactly did you crash? I probed. What? Your car. You said it went off the road. Yeah, Route 26, about a mile back. I walked here. I'd been watching the parking lot window for hours and hadn't seen any headlights pull in. His hands wouldn't stop shaking, but his eyes were moving around the room, taking in the door, the window, and the phone on the wall. Is anyone else working tonight? That question made my stomach drop. The overnight doctor's in his office. 2 other nurses are doing rounds. I lied, watching his jaw tighten. All right. Something about the way he said that made me uncomfortable. He stood up suddenly. Can I use your bathroom? Sure, down the hall, 2nd door on the left. The second he walked out, I locked the exam room door from the inside. My hands were shaking when I pulled out my phone, but it had lost signal. The blizzard must have knocked out the tower. I tried the landline on the wall. It was dead as well. The storm had taken out everything. I heard his footsteps in the hallway, but he wasn't going toward the bathroom. He was going the opposite direction, toward the supply room where we had the back exit. He was checking the layout. I stayed quiet and pressed myself against the wall. Through the gap under the door, I could see his shadow stop outside the exam room. He tried the handle twice. "I know you're in there. Open the door," he asked, but I didn't move. My heart started pounding. "Look, it wasn't a deer, okay? She was hitchhiking, and I just wanted to feel less alone on New Year's Eve. Is that too much to ask?" I tried to kiss her, a simple kiss, but she slapped me and called me a freak. After that, I just couldn't let her walk alive. You know? I felt sick. I mean, she probably slept with 1,000 random dudes, and now calling me a creep. I tell you, girls these days are impossible. I couldn't believe my ears. I let a madman in who killed someone for no reason. I told him to back off, as I have already called the cops, but he kept laughing, saying I was lying. I knew the door won't hold long if he attempted to get in, but shockingly, he did nothing like that. He calmly sat down right outside the door and continued talking to me. "You know, people like her, they bring it on themselves. I offered her company, kindness. It's New Year's Eve. Everyone hates being alone on the holidays. But she acted like I was garbage." He chuckled softly. "She hit me, spit on me, called me a creep after everything I did." He shifted, leaning his back fully against the door. I could feel the pressure through the metal. "They think they can treat men however they want, and nothing will happen. So yeah, I handled it, and I'd do it again." I pressed a hand over my mouth. "I'm going back for her after I warm up," he continued casually. "Storm's perfect for covering tracks. I'll get her off the road, bury her deep. Snow will hide the fresh dirt. Nobody'll find her till spring, if even then." I felt dizzy. The blizzard outside roared, but his voice was loud and clear. "You seem like a smart guy," he murmured. "You're not going to tell anyone I came here tonight, right?" He didn't wait for my answer. "Good, because if you did..." He laughed under his breath. "Well, let's not think about that. I even left you something, a gift, right by your door." His boots scraped against the floor as he stood up. He didn't try the handle again. He didn't want to bang or shout. He just walked away, humming softly as he headed down the hallway. I waited until I couldn't hear his footsteps anymore. Maybe a full minute, maybe 5. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost...
What?
Wait in here and I'll tell you.
dropped the keys as I opened the exam room door. The hallway was empty. I sprinted to the main entrance and locked it with trembling fingers. Only then did I notice something on the floor by the exam room. Something small, glinting in the dim light. A shine of metal in the dark. I swallowed, turned on my phone flashlight, and crouched. It wasn't metal. It was a human ear that belonged to a woman. Small, pale, and frozen stiff. A silver stud still pierced through it. I nearly fell over. He'd had it in his pocket the whole time. He'd been inches from me while carrying a piece of her. I locked every door and window that night. I sat with my back against the wall until daylight finally broke through the parking lot windows. Since that night, I check the news every morning. Local, state, national, hoping they find a body. I don't have the guts to go to the cops because I know he's watching me. I get that feeling every night. I just hope sharing the story here might help me sleep. Norman and I had been dating for a month when he started pushing me to spend New Year's Eve at his family's farmhouse. The place was 2 hours outside of the city, buried in the woods next to a lake that looked pitch black even during the day. There were no neighbors in sight for miles. The second we pulled up, the front door swung open before we even made it to the porch, and his mom practically tackled me.
Jenny! You're even prettier in person. Get in here. We've been waiting all day.
She grabbed my hands and squeezed so hard it hurt. Inside, the place smelled of old wood, mixed with something sickeningly sweet. The furniture looked ancient. Every wall had these creepy photos of people with blank faces, staring straight ahead. We walked into the living room, and Norman's uncle's eyes glazed over. "Jenny, you're hot." I went stiff, but Norman laughed it off, asking me to take it easy. How could I, when his uncle couldn't stop leering all through dinner? Every single time I glanced up,
I just realized that letting my stream see everything I go to is like the weirdest stuff. Never did anything in the other live streams.
he was watching me with this gross smile, licking his lips. Norman's mom was just as bad. She'd stroke my hair, squeeze my shoulders, and grab my wrist every time I so much as breathed.
Have more.
She said, dumping another pile of gray slop onto my plate.
I'm stuffed, really.
Her smile stayed frozen, but her fingers dug into my wrist.
Just one more bite, sweetie.
"So, Jenny, tell us about your folks." Norman's dad leaned across the table.
They're back in the city. My mom teaches philosophy. Do they know you're here?
That stopped me cold. I looked at Norman, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. So I mumbled an awkward yes and went back to the food. An hour later, Norman's mom carried in a cake with "Welcome to the Family" written in red frosting. Suddenly, Norman's dad got up and pulled out a little box from his pocket. He set it down in front of Norman. I felt ice in my veins when he opened it. Inside was tucked an old tarnished ring with a black stone that looked like it swallowed light.
Norman, go ahead.
His mom giggled. Norman grabbed my hand and knelt. "Jenny, will you marry me?" I tried to laugh it off while my heart pounded in my chest.
Norman, it's just been a month.
"I know," he said, grinning. "But when you know, right?"
This is insane.
Norman's mom's face changed.
Aren't you his girlfriend? Yeah, but... So you will marry him? Maybe, but we need more time. Time?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit louder. Just stop spamming hi. Excuse me, ma'am. A girl does not have to marry a boy if she doesn't choose to. After they've dated for at least 6 months. I don't care if it's a month. We need it to be 6 months. They need experience into life. They need to know shit. I know. Plus the you can you tell a girl that's dating your son to accept marrying your own son because you can't force her? It's her choice. Anyways, back to the video.
His mom's voice went shrill.
For what? You ate our food. You're in our home. You're a part of us now. I came for dinner, not a wedding.
My voice cracked. Carl pushed himself up. What an ungrateful bitch! I got up to leave, but no.
Are we hearing this correctly? Did he just say what I think he just said? Oh. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna have to be right back. I'm gonna take out this dog. He's been waiting basically all day. I am now going to take this dog's life as y'all watch this video.
Norman grabbed my wrist hard. His dad stepped in close, blocking my path to the door. Carl moved to the other side while Norman's mom stood behind me.
Please. Let me go home.
I said, tears starting to spill. I tried to pull away from Norman, but his grip only kept tightening. Carl had grabbed my other arm.
I just started the game.
Boom!
Hey, 1 versus 1 me.
Hey,
Wait,
oh
I
my
just
God.
started.
Come on, don't be scared.
On my jacket.
Between him and Norman, they started forcing me down into the chair. I struggled and wiggled. They were too strong.
With this
Sit
fur.
down! You're embarrassing me!
Stop it, please.
Norman's dad pulled the ring from the box. Put out your hand!
No.
Carl wrenched my arm forward. Norman held my wrist still. His dad moved the ring toward my finger. I had to get away. I searched my brain for any potential exit until it clicked.
My parents have to be here.
I screamed. Norman's dad stopped. What?
My parents,
I choked out through tears.
they need to see this. That's how it's done.
Norman's mom frowned.
We don't need. Yes. It's tradition. Please, they have to be here.
They exchanged looks. Norman's grip loosened slightly. She's stalling, Carl muttered.
No, I'm not. I swear. It's a union of two families, too. That's proper, isn't it? I mean, Norman deserves a grand celebration after all.
I looked at Norman, pleading with him to believe me. He looked at me, and his face softened. Fine, Norman said slowly, letting go of my wrist. I'll go get them. His dad didn't look convinced, but Norman had already grabbed the car keys and was heading towards the door.
I should give him a good luck kiss.
I mumbled, wiping my eyes and following a few steps behind. As I passed the table, I sneakily grabbed the cake fork and slipped it up my sleeve. I know you have doubts right now, but once you're in, you'll get it, Norman said at the door. I nodded, stepping closer until we were standing inches apart. I went up on my toes. He closed his eyes, waiting for the touch. Instead, I jammed the fork into his eye as hard as I could.
Damn.
Norman went down screaming, clutching his face as blood poured out. The car keys hit the porch with a clatter. I snatched them up and bolted. His mom started shrieking behind me. I didn't look until I dove into the car and shoved the key in. The engine
that
turned
okay?
over, right as Norman's
Is
dad.
that okay? If I find a shiny Pokemon, shiny Pokemon in Pokemon, then I'll say what your sister wants me to say. Now,
I got to the window,
I'll let y'all finish
hammering on the
this, and then
glass.
I'll change the
You
video.
made a mistake! I hit the gas. Gravel sprayed everywhere as the car kicked sideways, then straightened out. In the mirror, I could see all four of them on the porch under that yellow light, just watching me tear down the driveway. I drove for over an hour before I could pull over. My hands stopped shaking. Norman's blood was all over my sleeve. Every time I blinked, I saw the fork going in. I've shifted apartment and now staying with my parents. I can't go to the cops because I too stabbed Norman that night. I just hope we never cross paths again.
You're gonna cross paths. Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm a certified public accountant and I suck at Excel. I don't even know how to do a VLOOKUP, but my finances have been all over the place. So
Well,
It was a Friday night in September when Dad took me and Lily to Chuck E. Cheese. The place was absolutely nuts with kids screaming everywhere, those game machines going crazy, and that creepy giant mouse mascot waddling around,
Yes.
snapping photos with families. Dad told us to find a table by the play area while he got in line for pizza. Lily was practically vibrating in her seat, already staring at the ball pit, when this guy just walked right up to us. He looked like every other Chuck E. Cheese guy, donning the employee shirt, but something about his smile was creeping me out. "Hey kids, want to see some magic tricks?" he said, popping himself down on a chair without even asking. Lily's whole face lit up. Before I could say anything, he was doing that old coin
Chuck E.
behind the
Cheese
ear
is the bad
thing.
guy.
He kept
I'm gonna
going,
guess it.
showing off those
They're not
petty
gonna-
tricks,
I
but
thought
something
they were
felt wrong. His smile never changed, even when he was talking, and he kept looking over at the entrance like he was checking to see if someone was watching.
I'll see what you
I've got
mean by
way
that.
better tricks out in my
That's all
car,
what you
plus
mean.
some special candy they only give employees. Wanna come? Every single alarm in my head blared. I told them we're good here, but he kept insisting. "It's right outside, parked by the... If you don't leave us alone right now, I'm getting my dad." I said it loud enough for people to look over. His friendly smile vanished, and his eyes went cold. For a second, I thought he'd throw hands, but he stood up and simply walked away. Dad showed up a couple minutes later, carrying our number thing for the pizza. Then Lily said she wanted to go to the bathroom, and Dad asked me to tag along. The women's room was down this short hallway away from everyone. "I'll wait right here. Don't talk to anyone and come straight back out."
I'm 8, not a baby.
She rolled her eyes and went inside. I leaned against the wall and pulled out my phone. A minute went by, then another. When 5 whole minutes had passed and Lily still didn't show up, I went up and knocked on the door. "Lily?" I knocked again. My heart started pounding. I pushed the door open and nearly froze in terror. That trick guy had Lily's wrist in one hand, while his other hand clamped over her mouth. Lily's eyes were huge and utterly terrified. She was crying badly, but all her screams and sobs were muffled by his big palm. "Hey, let her go!" I screamed and threw myself at him. He was way bigger than me, but all I could see was Lily's wide, terror-filled eyes. I crashed right into him, trying to make him let go of my baby sister. He shoved me, and I went down hard, hit the tile floor, and felt pain shoot through my elbow. I yelped and tried getting on my feet, but couldn't. Suddenly, my eyes fell on his shoes. He was wearing regular sneakers with long laces, and I got an idea. He was too focused on keeping his grip on Lily in the door to notice me grabbing both his shoelaces. I hurriedly tied them together as he kept trying to prevent Lily from escaping. That's when the door opened, and a woman with her daughter walked in. "Help! He's trying to take my sister! Get my dad!" I yelled from the floor. The woman's eyes went huge. Still, she spun around and ran. The guy knew he was screwed. He let go of Lily and tried to run for the back door, but the second he took a step, his tied laces sent him crashing down. He went down so hard his head bounced off the tile. I jumped up and pulled Lily behind me. The man was trying to get up, fumbling with his shoes and swearing. Right then, Dad came bursting through the door with 3 Chuck E. Cheese workers and a security guard right behind him. The guard grabbed the guy before he could get his laces untied. He was fighting back, yelling that this was all a big misunderstanding. He worked there, but the employees denied ever seeing him in their lives. Turned out he'd stolen that shirt from someone's locker in the back. The cops showed up fast. They took him away in handcuffs while he screamed about his rights. One of the officers talked to me, Lily, and Dad separately. I told her everything that happened. Turns out we weren't the first. The guy had been hitting different Chuck E. Cheese places across the states, doing the same exact thing. Your son's quick thinking saved his sister's life. That shoelace trick bought just enough time for help to get here. That could have ended a whole lot worse, the officer told Dad. Dad hugged both of us so tight I could barely breathe. He didn't say anything, just held on while his shoulders shook.
So, what'd you say no for? Okay, well. I guess I'm getting no explanation.
I realized he was crying. I'd never seen my dad cry before. On the drive home, Lily sat next to me in the back and held my hand. She hadn't let go since we left.
Larson, thank you for saving me.
Her voice was so small it made my chest hurt.
I was really scared,
I know, I was scared too.
but you still came to help me.
Of course I did. You're my little sister. I'd fight anyone for you, even if they're way bigger than me. She put her head on my shoulder.
You're the best big brother ever.
Dad looked at us in the rearview mirror, and I could still see his eyes were wet. Lily's 9 now, but she still won't go into a public bathroom by herself, and she gets nightmares sometimes about that night. But she also knows that her big brother's always gonna be there to keep her safe. And I would, no matter what, because that's what big brothers do. Protect our little sisters at all costs.
Hurry up, chicken butt. Shake, 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 and
Wake up. Wake up.
I
Wake
hadn't
up.
seen Maddie in almost 3
Wake
years when she texted me asking we meet up. We'd been tight in high school until life happened. She suggested Chuck E. Cheese of all places, said it'd be nostalgic. I showed up first and snagged a booth near the back. Maddie walked in maybe 10 minutes later, looking like she'd stepped off a runway with this massive diamond on her finger that kept catching the light every time she moved her hands. We ordered pizza and started catching up, but I noticed pretty quick that the conversation kept looping back to Ricky, her fiance.
Ricky owns 3 car dealerships. We're exchanging vows in June.
She said, toying with the ring.
That's amazing. You must be over the moon. Over the moon? I'm set for life, Vi. Ricky's loaded and loves spoiling me.
Something about how she said it rubbed me the wrong way.
But are you actually in love with him?
I asked. Maddie's smile slipped for just a second.
Of course I am.
Before I could push back on that, this employee walked past us carrying a tray piled with dirty dishes. Maddie's eyes tracked him, then widened.
Jesus. Is that you, Nathan?
She called loud enough to make heads turn at tables. The guy stopped walking. I saw his face and immediately remembered him as Nathan, her boyfriend of 2 years during high school, whom Maddie had dumped right around graduation. Hey, Maddie. Nathan smiled softly.
Nice seeing you after so long at Chuck E. Cheese.
It pays the bills. He shrugged.
Of course it does. But what happened to all those startup ideas and yacht dreams?
My mom got sick. Nathan replied. I had to stay home and take care of her.
Oh, how noble.
Maddie taunted, then showed him her huge diamond engagement ring.
See this? This is what my life looks like now.
Oh,
I'm
your Wi-Fi
marrying
cut out.
Ricky Crawford.
Dang.
You've probably heard of him? Crawford Auto Group? Maddie, stop.
I tried cutting in, feeling embarrassed for both of them.
You know what's the difference between you and Ricky, Nathan? He's a winner while you're still here wiping down tables.
Nathan just looked at her for a second, then just nodded once and walked away.
Oh, God, that felt good.
Maddie said, settling back in the booth.
I can't believe I wasted 2 whole years on that loser. That was cruel.
I replied flatly.
Oh, come on, Vi. I'm just being honest.
Before I was about to tell her exactly what I thought of her honesty, the front door slammed open, and 2 guys in ski masks came rushing in, waving guns.
That ain't
Everyone
scary.
started screaming immediately. Everyone get down! One of them fired a shot into the ceiling, and suddenly the whole place went dead quiet, except for some sobbing kids. Maddie grabbed my arm as one of the gunmen went behind the counter and forced the manager to empty out the register. The other one started making his way between the tables, demanding wallets, phones, and jewelry. When he got to our table, he pointed the gun straight at Maddie. The ring! Give it here! Maddie's other hand flew up to cover it.
No, it's mine. My fiance gave me this.
The guy grabbed her by the hair and yanked her head back hard. Maddie screamed, but he shut her up with a hard slap across the face. She fell sideways in the booth. Stop! Nathan shouted as he approached us, with his hands raised. Leave her alone. Just take the money and get out.
Nathan, don't.
Back off, man. I'll shoot. The gunman swung the weapon toward him. She's scared, Nathan said, still coming closer. Just let her keep the ring. It doesn't mean anything to you anyway. You kidding? It's worth thousands. Get back. Nathan looked at Maddie, who was sobbing, still holding her face where she'd been hit. Then back at the gunman. Take this instead. Just leave her alone, Nathan said, pulling off his watch. It wasn't anything special, probably worth about $50. The gunman actually laughed at that. That's a piece of junk. You, girl, give me the ring. He reached for Maddie again, but Nathan lunged forward, grabbing at the guy's arm. They started struggling, the gun waving around between them. Other people were screaming now, running for the exits. The second gunman was shouting something I couldn't make out over all the chaos. Suddenly, the gun went off. Nathan stumbled backward. His hand went to his chest. Blood started spreading across his shirt.
Nathan!
Maddie screamed. He went down. The gunman took off running. I dropped to my knees beside Nathan and pressed my hands against the wound, even though I could already tell it was bad.
Someone call 911.
I shouted. Nathan's eyes found Maddie. She was on the floor next to him now, sobbing,
Yeah.
her hands hovering over him like she wanted to help, but had no idea what to do. I'm sorry, Nathan whispered. His breathing was getting shallow. I'm sorry I couldn't. Nathan choked before his eyes closed. The paramedics showed up maybe 3 minutes later, but there was nothing anyone could do.
Stop
They
licking my
pronounced him
feet.
dead right there on the Chuck E.
I
Cheese
don't
floor,
like it.
surrounded by arcade games and birthday decorations. The cops took statements from everyone. They caught the gunman a couple of hours later, trying to cross state lines. Maddie sat in the back of the ambulance with a blanket wrapped around her shoulders, just staring at nothing. I sat down next to her, and we didn't talk for a long time. Then, Maddie completely broke down.
I'm all beautiful, Vi.
She looked down at her engagement ring, that massive diamond Nathan had died trying to protect.
He's not mine.
Slowly,
He's
she
not my
pulled it
dog.
off her finger and just stared at it.
I lost a diamond while I was chasing gold.
She choked out. Maddie never married Ricky. She called off the engagement 2 days after Nathan's funeral. She said she couldn't marry someone she didn't actually love, not after seeing what real love looked like. She visits Nathan's grave every week now, but none of that can bring him back.
Welcome to your
No,
2025
I didn't
holiday
find
gift
it.
guide. This is Opopop,
It's one of
and
my
I
mom's,
recommend starting with the Discovery
Other boss's
But
dog.
none of that can bring him back.
My mom works 2 jobs.
It was a Friday in late March. I'd been at my buddy's bachelor party, bar hopping downtown until the places started closing. By the time I got to the subway station, it was past 1 a.m., and I was pretty wasted. The station was empty, except for the buzzing fluorescent lights that made everything look washed out. My train wasn't due for another 7 minutes, so I leaned against a pillar, trying to keep the world from spinning. That's when I saw him. Standing under a flickering light on the opposite platform was this guy wearing a full Chuck E. Cheese mascot getup, complete with gray fur body and an oversized plastic rat head. But the fur was filthy, stained with what looked like oil or dried blood. The costume had tears in it, and the head had cracks around the mouth, like someone had beaten it with a construction hammer. He was just standing there, staring at me through those plastic dead eyes. I pulled out my phone and started scrolling on TikTok to ignore him, but I could still feel his eyes on me. When I glanced back, he hadn't moved an inch. Luckily, my train pulled in just in time. The doors opened and I stumbled inside, grateful to put some distance between me and whatever weirdo was playing dress up at 1 in the morning. Inside, the car was completely empty.
I have a feeling
I
he's
collapsed
gonna
into a
buy
seat near the middle and closed my
SpongeBob.
eyes. Right then, the doors beeped, and I
SpongeBob
heard squeaky
lights,
footsteps shuffling around. I opened my eyes, and my blood went cold. The Chuck E. Cheese guy was in my car. When did he cross platforms? I brushed off, thinking he probably changed his mind, and eagerly waited for my stop to arrive. Soon, he would walk to a seat and sat down for maybe 3 seconds before standing up and moving to another seat, then another. He was getting closer to where I was sitting. The squeaking of his costume made my heart race. "Hey man, you got a problem?" I called out, suddenly pretty sober. My throat felt parched. Something was very wrong here. I stood up and moved to the other end of the car. Much to my horror, he followed with that awful squeaking. I could hear his heavy and wet breathing, plastic head as he kept hopping from seat to seat, like we were playing some sick game. Finally, he sat down directly across from me, close enough that I could smell the awful mixture of sweat and rot and something chemical that made my eyes water.
I would
He
just go
tilted
to
his
a
head
Plymouth
at an
train,
unnatural angle
make
till I
sure the
heard his
doors
neck
are
crack.
locked,
I
and
could see
say,
his
"Hey,
real
oh,
eyes
no.
now through the mesh of the mascot's mouth.
We
They
call
were
cops.
bloodshot and wide, with pupils dilated so large they looked black. "What's your problem, dude?" I yelled, irritated and terrified at the same time. Right then, he reached into the costume's pocket and pulled out a dead rat. He dangled it at my face level for a couple of seconds, before he chucked it right at my face. The moment it hit my nose, I lost it. I shirked and jumped. My stomach lurched, and I puked my dinner all over the subway floor. All this while, he just laughed. The sound echoed off the metal walls until it sounded like multiple people were laughing at once. I looked up through tears and saw the next station approaching. The train started slowing down. He was still laughing, standing right behind me when the doors opened. I just stepped out, and I felt a sharp sting at the back of my neck. I spun around to find him holding up a large syringe in his hand.
Oh, that's
It
gonna
was
have
half
to do
full
that.
of some clear liquid. He waved at me as the doors began to close and the train pulled away, carrying him back into the darkness. I stood there touching my neck, feeling a small puncture wound and a trickle of blood. What had he injected me with?
Yes, this is why I switched to injection-free weight loss.
I was eating healthy, working out every
I'm done.
What had he injected me with? I ran up the stairs, flagged down a cab, and told him to take me to the nearest emergency room. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone to call 911. The ER doctors ran multiple tests. Everything came back normal.
You're lucky. Whatever was in that syringe doesn't seem to be affecting you. But we'll keep monitoring your blood work.
The doctor said. I filed a police report immediately. They said they'd check the subway security cameras, but the footage from that car was corrupted. I went home thinking I'd dodged a bullet, that whatever that psycho had injected me with was harmless, or maybe the syringe had been empty, and he was just trying to scare me. Last week I was making breakfast, simple omelet with cheddar cheese. The second I opened the bag, my stomach turned. The smell hit me. I barely made it to the sink before I was throwing up. Must be food poisoning, I thought, or the flu. But then it happened again with a slice of pizza, and again with a cheeseburger. Every time I got near cheese, my body violently rejected it. I went back to the doctor. They ran more tests. Everything still came back normal.
It might be psychological. Trauma can manifest in strange ways. Your brain might be associating cheese with that incident.
But it wasn't just cheese I couldn't be near. Anything that reminded me of Chuck E. Cheese made me sick. The color combination of red and yellow made me nauseous. The sound of arcade games made my hands shake. I couldn't walk past the restaurant without having a panic attack. My therapist calls it PTSD with a psychosomatic component. My friends think I'm making it up. The police never found the guy, but I know what happened. Someone targeted me that night, followed me onto the train, terrorized me, and injected me with something that changed me in a way doctors can't detect or explain. But the worst part is knowing he's still out there, hunting his next victim.
Holy switch up of this character in Pokemon, bro.
How to check if
Literally
someone's
this
spying
dude
on you? Actually, it's pretty
says-
simple. If you
says,
notice any of these
"Ooh,
signs, it's time
The
to check your
streamer
phone.
reacted to
Here's
what I
what
said in chat. The girl making
It
a
was supposed to
strategy.
be a drive to
No,
reconnect,
wait,
a
that's
chance
a
for
bit-
Mark and me
wait,
to find
we're
some
making-
common
we're doing
ground after
strategies
months
right
of
now.
bickering and silence. The rolling hills
That's
and the
not
quiet of the
important.
countryside seemed perfect, but that night, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in bruises of purple and orange, our hope of reconciliation turned into a nightmare. We were on an old country road, far from the city's chaos, when we saw him. A lone figure, limping across the shoulder of the
Yes,
road,
I am,
his coat
okay.
tattered and face shadowed by the dimming light. Mark, ever the good Samaritan, pulled over before I could protest. Hey man, you need a lift? The man paused, looking up with an unsettling smile under his old eyes. Would you? I'm just trying to get to the next town over. His voice was hoarse, like gravel being crushed underfoot. I felt a shiver crawl up my spine, but Mark was already unlocking the doors.
Are you sure about this, babe?
It's just a ride, Sarah. What could happen? What indeed? As the hitchhiker climbed into the back seat, a cold
Death,
gust of wind swept through the
trauma,
car, carrying with it the faint
road
stench of
nose.
decay. I turned to give him a tight smile, catching his eyes in the rearview mirror. Piercing, calculating. He strapped himself in, his gaze never
Calculating
leaving
is
mine.
crazy.
Thanks for this. You're saving me a long, cold walk. As we drove, he asked innocuous questions at first, about the weather, our car, where we were from. Then his inquiries turned personal, intrusive. So how long have you two been together? You seem tense. Mark laughed it off, chalking it up to a long day. But I could feel the hitchhiker's eyes boring into the back of my head, reading
Is that
things I
it?
wish
That
remained
man's eyes are
unsaid.
crossed.
The night grew darker, and a
His
thick
eyes don't
fog
even
began
look
to
as
settle over the
straight.
road. That's when he changed. The air shifted, thick with his unsaid thoughts, and then he leaned forward, his breath cold against my ear. Take me to the old farmhouse off Ridge Road. You know the place. It's not far. There was a command in his tone that froze my blood, Mark glanced at me through the rearview mirror, a silent question in his eyes. That's a bit off our path, buddy. Maybe we can drop you at... No! You'll take me there. Now. His outburst was sharp, a knife slicing through the tense air. Mark's grip on the steering wheel tightened, and without another word, he turned off the main road, the tires crunching on gravel as we headed towards a destination that promised nothing good. The farmhouse loomed out of the fog like a specter from the past, its windows dark, its siding peeling like old scars. The hitchhiker's breathing grew heavy, excited. Stop here. Let's go inside. I have something to show you.
We're not going anywhere. We're leaving.
But before Mark could throw the car into reverse, the hitchhiker produced a gun, the metal glinting ominously in the dim light. Out of the car, both of you. Don't make this
I would
harder than
immediately
it has
grab
to
that
be.
gun and immediately shit on
Fear,
the
raw and sharp, twisted in my gut as we complied, stepping out into the night's cold embrace. The doors slammed shut behind us, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the quiet night. There, surrounded by the oppressive silence of the fog and the decrepit aura of the old farmhouse, our true ordeal began. The ground crunched underfoot as we were ushered towards the decrepit farmhouse by the barrel of the hitchhiker's gun. The air was thick, with the musty smell of decay, and every shadow seemed to whisper threats. Mark's hand found mine, squeezing it tightly, a small comfort in the face of impending doom. Inside, the house was even worse than its exterior promised. Dust lay thick upon everything, and the air was stale, heavy with the weight of long-abandoned memories. The hitchhiker directed us to the center of the dimly lit living room, where an old chandelier dangled precariously from the ceiling, its crystals long gone. Sit, he commanded, pointing to the dusty floor. We obeyed, the floorboards cold and hard beneath us. He paced before us, the gun always aimed in our direction, his eyes wild with a feverish gleam. You see, this house, it holds memories. Memories of pain, of betrayal. And tonight, you will help me right the wrongs. His words slurred into madness, revealing a mind unhinged by past traumas, now projected onto us. He began to rant about...
Is that peak or is that peak? That you're listening to Doors Slow Down Funk? Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Oh, stop. Wait a minute.
His childhood, about the parents who abandoned him, the cruelty he endured. We were his chosen audience, a captive pair to bear witness to his unraveling. We have nothing to do with your past. Let us go.
Is that
we won't tell anyone we were here. He shot a bullet in the air, tearing me up. Quiet. You're a part of this now. You must pay the price of listening, of understanding. He began setting up what looked like a bizarre ritual, placing old, faded photographs in a circle around us. Each photo seemed to depict moments of a troubled family life. A child's birthday with no guests, a Christmas morning with no gifts, a graduation with no applause. The hitchhiker's voice became increasingly agitated as he described each scene, how each instance of neglect sculpted him into the vessel of vengeance he had silently become. Then, he produced a rope from his bag, throwing it at my feet. Tie him up. Show me you understand the pain. The command was chilling, but it sparked a desperate idea in me. As I moved to bind Mark's hands, I whispered a plan to him, a risky chance that might just save us.
Play along. I'll make it loose. When I say now, you push him and we run.
Mark nodded slightly, understanding flashing in his eyes. I tied the rope loosely around his wrists, giving him enough slack to break free when needed. As I stood to face our captor, I steadied my breathing, preparing for the moment to act. Good. Let me see if the Missy even tied it hard. He bent down to check, and in that moment I kicked hard at the hand in which he was holding the gun, but it didn't fall.
Now, Mark.
Mark surged up, using the slack of the rope to lunge at the hitchhiker. Startled, the man staggered back, firing a wild shot that went wide. The moment of chaos was all we needed. I grabbed Mark's hand and we bolted, racing towards the front door. We burst into the night, the cool air sharp in our lungs. Behind us, the hitchhiker's shouts and the sound of his stolen pursuit filled the air. We didn't look back, running blindly into the foggy night, driven by pure survival instinct. The sounds of pursuit faded into the distance as we reached the main road, where by some stroke of luck, a late-night traveler stopped for us. He called the police as we collapsed into his car, our bodies shaking, our minds reeling from the terror we had just escaped. The police later apprehended the hitchhiker at the farmhouse, still ranting wildly about betrayal and vengeance. Mark and I were safe, but forever changed. The ordeal left scars that no time could heal fully, a haunting reminder of the night we faced pure madness and survived. Reflecting on it all now, I realized how close we came to a different ending, one written by a madman driven by the ghouls of his past. But in the frantic escape, in our desperate will to live, we rewrote our fate, choosing life over death he had planned for us.
This is my friend's account. He told me all this legendary gear was earned just by idling. And this is MapleStory Idle RPG. Your hero?
Not yet.
It was just past midnight when I first saw him, a solitary figure standing by the side of the road, thumb outstretched towards the murky glow of my headlights. His presence was as unexpected as it was unsettling. This stretch of highway was seldom traveled, even during the day. Reluctantly, I slowed the car, the window rolling down with a hesitant whir. "You need a lift?" I called, my voice betraying a trace of unwilling curiosity. The man nodded. A grateful smile crossed his weathered face as he hurried to the passenger side. "Thank you," he said, settling into the seat and pulling the door shut with a definitive thud. "I wasn't sure anyone would stop." As we drove, the fog seemed to thicken, curling around the car like a living entity. "So where you headed?" I asked, glancing at him. He was older than I first thought, his eyes deeply set and carrying a weariness that seemed out of place. "Just up ahead," he replied, gesturing vaguely forward. "Not far." That's when the oddities began. First, it was the radio. As we talked, it spontaneously switched on, flipping through stations rapidly, settling on an old-time tune that crackled with static. I reached to turn it off, but he stopped me. "I like this one," he said, his voice suddenly distant. "It's been a long time since I heard it." The song played eerily, notes warping slightly as if the signal was bending around the curves of the road. We passed a sign then, one that was too rusted to read, its edges consumed by ivy and darkness. "There's an old marker for a cemetery," he commented, his gaze fixed on the disappearing sign. "Not on the maps anymore. People forget." The atmosphere inside the car grew heavier, the edges of my vision seeming to flutter like the wings of night birds. Shadows appeared to move with autonomy, darting in and out of the dim light cast by the car's interior. I swallowed hard, focusing on the road that now seemed more like a passage through another world than a mere highway. "A bridge is coming up," he said next, his tone casual, as if remarking on the weather. "Strange things happen around it. Watch."
There we go.
As we approached, the headlights flickered, a stutter in the illumination that made my heart skip. Looking into the rearview mirror, I thought I saw figures standing by the water's edge, their movements jerky and unnatural. But when I blinked, they were gone. "It's the light," he murmured. "They don't like it."
Yes.
Who doesn't like
Yes,
it?
please.
My voice cracked, the question slipping out before I could think better of it. "The ones who stay here. Imagine you've been tired for an eternity and finally wish to settle down in the warm arms of the deep slumber, but some buffoon brandishes a big light right in your face. Wouldn't you hate it? He answered simply, as if that explained everything. We drove in silence for a while until suddenly the car's temperature dropped sharply. My breath became visible, fogging the space between us. He didn't seem to notice, his attention now on the road ahead. There's a diner not far from here. He broke the silence. It's abandoned now, but sometimes, if you look right, you can see the patrons inside. I stared at him, unease twisting in my gut. See them? How? Just watch. As we passed the dilapidated building, I risked a glance. There, behind the fogged and broken windows, were the silhouettes of people, frozen mid-meal, their heads turning unnaturally slow to follow our passing car. My heart hammered against my ribs, the sight too surreal to process fully. What the who are they? What's happening? I managed to ask, my voice a whisper of its usual timbre. They're stuck souls forgotten in time, he said, his eyes reflecting a sorrow that seemed as deep as the night itself. But what better place to get stuck at if not for a diner? At least it's not on the road like me. His last words hung in the air, a confession wrapped in a chilling revelation. Like you? I echoed, my mind racing as I tried to piece together the meaning behind his cryptic statements. The road ahead seemed to stretch into infinity, the fog a curtain veiling the world beyond. Yes, he replied, his voice steady, eyes locked on the horizon. I've been on this road longer than you can imagine, always hitchhiking, always picked up, but never reaching my destination. A cold shiver ran down my spine as I processed his words. Why? What keeps you here? I asked, not sure I wanted to hear the answer. He turned to look at me, his face illuminated by the intermittent flicker of the dashboard lights. Unfinished business, he said, the cliche ringing eerily true in the context of our ghostly journey. There's something I need to do, something I should have done long ago. What is it? I asked, the weight of his gaze making it difficult to concentrate on the road. Just keep driving, he instructed, pointing forward where the road took a sharp bend. It's not far now. As we rounded the curve, the air grew oppressively tight, as if the night itself was constricting around us. The radio burst to life again, this time spewing a jumble of numbers and static that made my ears ring. The car began to shake, a mechanical shudder that grew with each meter we advanced. This is where it happened, he said softly, almost lost beneath the cacophony of the radio and the rattling car. My car had a flat tire. I was out, crouched on my knees, when an out-of-control wagon came for me, and I don't remember anything else after that. The words had barely left his lips when a sharp, bright light pierced the fog ahead. Instinctively, I slammed on the brakes, the car screeching to a halt just inches from a massive oak tree that hadn't been there a moment before. My heart pounded violently against my chest, the shock of the near miss paralyzing me momentarily. He opened the door, stepping out into the mist. Thank you, Ray. He called back to me, his figure starting to fade. That is when it hit me. I had never revealed my name to him. Oh, wait! I shouted, my voice hoarse with fear and confusion. Where are you going? Is this for real? As he disappeared, the radio quieted, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted like a dark cloud passing. I sat there for a long moment, catching my breath, before finally turning the car around. The drive back was unnervingly quiet. The fog seemed to retreat with every mile, and the road behind me felt mundane, No longer a passage through a haunted night, but just asphalt and lines. It wasn't until I reached my own front door that the magnitude of what had happened truly hit me. I was shaking, not from the cold, but from the profound eeriness of giving a ghost a ride. I resolved then that I'd never travel that stretch of road at night again. But as I turned to lock the door behind me, I caught a glimpse of something that chilled me to my core. A set of footprints leading up to my house, disappearing at the threshold, as if someone had followed me home from the fog. And in that moment, I realized that I wasn't truly alone.
This might sound crazy, but there is a superhero show that you have never heard of, and it was quite strange. Let me explain. So back in the late 1990s, there was a superhero show called Nightman, and if you haven't heard of it, don't worry, not many people have. It followed a jazz musician who gets struck by lightning, but instead of dying, obviously, he gains the ability to hear evil, which is as weird as it sounds. So inherently, he does what any of us would have done and builds a full metal suit, acquires a laser gun, pilots a stealth glider jet, and becomes a superhero called Nightman. And if any of this has made you go, wait, I kind of want to watch this, you actually can, because it is currently streaming on Philo, and I was kind of shocked to see it there. But that's kind of Philo's whole thing. It's this massive library of channels and hidden gems that you can't really find on other platforms. You get AMC, Paramount Network, HBO Max, literally over 70 live TV channels, and a huge on-demand library. So if you want to check out Nightman or something else extremely niche, then Philo is the easiest way to do it.
I can't get service. I've been trying and trying, but I can't get any service to my phone. I know I probably won't make it out of here, but I have to keep trying. The only issue is I can't leave my room. I can see the shadows right outside my window. I was on a road trip. I don't usually like road trips, but this one was fun. I was headed to see my parents in Colorado, driving through the mountains late at night when it happened. As I drove over the mountain pass, the snow was falling so thick that I could barely see the ominous pine trees to each side of the road. My car's radio began to crackle and sputter. I was listening to music, so obviously this caught my attention. I didn't think much about it at the time, but suddenly the car sputtered and lost all power. My car drifted to a stop. I tried to get it started, but nothing happened. No matter how much I pushed the gas or turned the key in the ignition, nothing worked. I was stuck in the middle of nowhere with no help in sight. I was just about to give up. But then I saw headlights coming down from the mountain pass. I could feel the excitement coursing in my veins, driving away the panic. I'm saved.
Hey, you there! Stop the car! I need a lift!
I desperately waved at the vehicle. It was an old shabby Jeep with dark windows, and I was surprised when it slowed down. The driver's window rolled down, and inside was an old man with a face that left me with chills. His eyes seemed to drift upward, looking more toward the sky than at me. He had warts all over his face, which seemed gaunt and stricken with some kind of illness. Still, his wide smile seemed kind enough.
How can I help you, boy?
Yeah, hey, sorry. My car broke down. I was wondering if I could hitchhike to the nearest hotel or town. His smile seemed to widen, and he fixed his eyes on me.
The nearest hotel? I can take you to the nearest hotel.
Thank you, man. You're awesome. I hopped into his Jeep, feeling a little uneasy but grateful nonetheless. We drove off into the darkness, neither of us saying much. I was so tired that eventually I just fell asleep. When I woke up, we had pulled up to a hotel in the middle of nowhere. The building was old and run down, with a sense of dilapidation spreading over the entire premise. The old man was staring at me as he parked his car. I was about to ask him what he wanted, but he spoke first.
Enjoy your stay, son. You can stay as long as you like. But don't try to leave.
What? What are you talking about?
Just don't try to leave. Don't try to leave.
His smile gave me shivers. Still, I thanked him for his time and hopped out. I walked toward the dark glass doors and entered the lobby. As I did, however, I felt sick to my stomach. Nobody was in the lobby. It was empty and smelled stale, moldy, like it hadn't been used in years. The walls were covered with these dark paintings and strange symbols, which made me feel very uneasy. I could sense something was wrong here, but I didn't know what yet. I tried to leave, but as soon as I turned around, I saw a key card and a note at my feet. The key card was for room 113, and the note said, "For David, enjoy your stay." I stared at it with a sense of wonder and confusion. It was for me.
Want to lose weight but feeling overwhelmed? Hers makes it simple to find your personalized solution. Through
Bro, I'm doing
forhers.com, just answer a few questions to get started. Then, you'll be connected with a provider to see if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your order is delivered right to your door. That means you can get access to a doctor-trusted weight loss treatment plan 100% online, with no in-person visits and no insurance required. Plus, ongoing provider support is included, so you can reach your weight loss goals with convenient care. Start today at forhers.com.
Looking to find the perfect homes for your puppies? Look no further than puppies.com. With millions searching puppies.com every month, your puppies will find a loving home in no time. Trusted for over 20 years, puppies.com makes finding suitable homes for your puppies easy, reliable, and fast, so you can focus on what you love doing most, prioritizing the health and well-being of your puppies. Say goodbye to complicated online marketplaces that don't consider the specific needs of breeders. Getting started on puppies.com is easy. Sign up for
while.
It was for me. But how's that possible? Maybe the old man called ahead? I shook my head. I didn't care. I was getting out of there. I grabbed the key card and walked right out the door and into the parking lot, then towards the dark line of trees. As I did, however, I stopped in my tracks. Beyond me, in the dark and snowy night, I could see shadowy and monstrous figures. They never really seemed to move when I was watching them, but whenever I blinked, they came closer. I ran back into my room and slammed the door shut, locking it tight. I quickly grabbed my phone and Googled the sign I had seen on the building earlier. Hotel de los Muertos. My stomach dropped as I read the description. This hotel. It had been a regular hotel years ago, until it fell into unuse and was eventually cursed, covered in foul demonic signs and voodoo magic. As I scrolled down the page, however, I saw something that frightened me even worse. I saw a photo of the same old man who had brought me here earlier. He was listed as the deceased owner of Hotel de los Muertos. I have to get out of here. What the hell? I closed my browser and began to dial 911, then hit enter. Nothing happened. I looked at my phone. No service. I was doomed. I could hear the voices of the shadows now getting closer and closer to my room. There was a tapping on the window, and then it started. A shadowy hand reaching out of the darkness, clawing at the glass, slowly and surely breaking inside. If you ever break down on a mountain pass in the middle of the night in Colorado, don't hitchhike with whoever tries to pick you up. Whatever you do, don't follow the old man back to his hotel. And if you do, you should never try to leave. If you try to leave, they'll be ready to capture you, imprisoning you in a place of terror and despair. All you can do is pray for some kind of service to your phone so that you can call for help. You won't get any though.
I think you went too far with the joke. Maybe, but this is Halloween.
Anyway, we're going home. Are you sure you don't want to ride?
Don't worry. You live on the other side. I'll hitch a ride. See you at my house tonight. Hey guys, my name is Hansel. And as you can see, I love Halloween. After having lunch with my friends, I tried to hitch a ride home, and surprisingly, someone stopped to pick me up. When I got to the van, there were women weirdly dressed. They told me that those were their witch outfits. At first, they were all very nice with me. They made jokes that were actually witches disguised as humans, and I laughed. But after a few seconds, everything got weird. The girls wouldn't take their eyes off me, and for no reason, they started laughing frantically. I didn't know how to react. The van went over a dark bridge, and I couldn't see anything else. At times, strands of light entered the van, and in those fractions of a second, I could see the girls' faces. Their faces were wrinkled and deformed. They were all still laughing in a sickly way. I could feel in the darkness how one of them jumped towards me and started kissing me passionately. As she did so, I felt dozens of worms enter my mouth and crawl down my throat. I wanted to push her away, but my body couldn't move. As if nothing had happened, we left the bridge, and all the girls acted as if nothing had happened. Although they were still smiling ironically at each other. Desperate, I asked them to let me out, and they didn't object. I got out of the truck and ran in the opposite direction from where they were driving. But suddenly, the van turned around and tried to run me over. I threw myself down the side of the road, and as I was falling, I noticed that the van was empty. No one was driving it. I desperately ran through the small forest looking for a way to get back to the road on the other side. Along the way, I could hear laughter and shadows moving through the vegetation. I tried to ignore everything I was feeling, and I just ran through the forest hoping to get lucky. After a few minutes, I came across a cabin. Surely, there would be someone there who could help me, or they had a phone. When I entered, it looked very neglected and almost abandoned. But it wasn't, because there was someone inside. Sir? Sorry to have entered your cabin like this, but you have to help me. I stopped my walk when I was about to touch this person's back. Those clothes, that physical connection. This was my friend. The man turned around by himself, and unlike my friend, he had an extra layer of skin on his face. The skin was broken at the mouth part, revealing a huge black hole.
You have to check out 1-800-CONTACTS because they are a game changer.
1-800-CONTACTS makes it so easy to get new contacts, no matter how last minute.
The skin was broken at the mouth part, revealing a huge black hole. He lunged at me, so I used the hammer I still had in my hand to knock him down. Stunned by the blow, the creature slowed down and gave me time to jump out of the window and continue running through the forest. I had lost the hammer, but I had survived. After almost an hour of desperate running, I found the road again, and even better, a passing car stopped to check to see if I was okay. As I got into the car, the couple driving the car offered me a ride to the hospital, and I calmly closed my eyes and allowed myself to relax. That laugh was familiar. I opened my eyes again, and I was no longer in the car, but in the van. I turned around and noticed that we were just over the bridge. Everything that had happened, hadn't it?
I still didn't lose my touch. Looks like my kiss left you hallucinating.
I tried to attack them with my hammer, but it was pointless. I couldn't move. My body was totally paralyzed. The witches tore my shirt, and with black lipsticks, they drew strange symbols on my body. One of them got on top of me again and opened her mouth, but this time it was not to kiss me. From it came out a strange insect in the shape of a fetus. This insect had eyes and fangs, but it was full of blood and liquids. Without controlling it, my mouth opened on its own, and I could see it slowly crawl into my mouth. I could feel it going down my throat as I choked slowly. My eyes began to close. When I opened them again, I was in my bed. I didn't know how I got there or what happened that day, but it was definitely real. From that day on, I started sleeping more and more, but every time I woke up, I was more tired than the night before. Also, I could swear that every time I woke up, things in my house were placed differently. This may sound crazy, but I feel that there's someone inside me, slowly taking over my body. Suddenly, I heard the doorbell ring, and when I look through the camera, I see that my friends have arrived. Why did they come? They never come unannounced, and I didn't talk to them. Something strange is happening to me. I feel very tired. I'm very sleepy.
Hey, Hansel. Are you okay? You sounded weird when you told us to come.
I was feeling a little sick, but I'm better now. Sit down. I'll get you something to drink. I was coming home from a concert. The road was empty, and my car broke down. I decided to hitchhike. 2 trucks passed away when I saw an RV van coming my way. I asked for a lift using the obvious hand gesture. The car stopped. The driver's side window rolls down, and a man with a red bandana over his head locked eyes with me. You lost?
No, my car's not working.
Huh. It's not safe for you to be here alone. Anyways, bye. He started driving away. I was thinking he's going to be creepy, but he wasn't.
Hey, wait!
He stopped. Now the sliding door at the back opened and 2 men came down from the car. Both were addicts with very unhealthy skin and teeth. I could smell alcohol on their clothes. A cold shiver ran down my spine.
I better get back to my car.
I turned around and started to walk away. I was looking behind just to see if they were following me.
ARG Tower Defense. I don't know what the this is. Do you hear the whistle? You know what? Because it's ARG, I'm going to my road chest after. The peak. Let's go gambling.
Let's go gambling! Let's go gambling! Let's go gambling!
Caleb, are you gonna join? Okay, there we go. You joined. Gang, where are you? I'm still gambling. Wait, hold up. Why is my face purple? Why is my body different colors? Ah, it's because of them. That makes sense now. Yes. Go gambling, my child. I give up. Now. Oh no. Where am I going? Okay. Oh, we clicked play. I'm dumb. I have a feeling this is the place we have to protect. Oh. Yo, those are... It's a nose, I just corrected the number. We are gambling. I'm now free to play Pokemon. Could you look like father likes... I don't get it. Oh, wait. Oh, I get... No! I get it. I got it already. I get the joke. The kid is not my son. The kid is not my son. Woo! He says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. Woo! She says I'm the one. But the child is not my son. Woo! She says I'm the one. Oh, that's a fool. Look at the trees. Show your unicorn over here. Glorified lumberjack.
Let's go gambling!
Actually. Second shift. Chapter 2. Okay, get ready for a ride. I get to keep the shotgun. You don't get to have the shotgun.
Hey. Good. You should be getting your first vehicle any second now. When they pull up, have everyone out of the car. You need to see them clearly before you do anything else. The driver will hand over their license. This will give you something to question them about. The passengers won't always have documents. That's normal. Just talk to them. Their answers should line up with what others are saying. You'll some travel details from previous checkpoints on your monitor in the office. If someone doesn't match, pay attention.
Wake up.
If something feels off, really off, don't hesitate. You're authorized to use the shotgun. If everything checks out, open the gate and let them through. Try not to overthink it. Trust your judgment.
Okay, this shotgun needs a nerf. Car incoming! I'm under the map. Help me. Okay, I'm back. Driver. Okay, move the way. Sir, I will hit you with this shotgun. Do I have to shoot you? What are the projects? Let me figure it out. Will we call projects business? That's not scary. Okay. Purpose. Wait a minute. Hold up. What is the year right now? What is the year of this game right now? Wait, hold up. No. Here's the real thing. How does he have a driver's license, and he's the only one that doesn't have a business? Were you the only one without a business, sir? Okay, let's start the projects for, not school. Anyway. Can I stop getting hit with a car? I don't even know that was my remote. What? I didn't even shoot you. Oh, you kept on. What do you mean kept on shooting? I'm gonna have to shoot soon. If it ain't 2 days. Is that Mr. Krabs, bro? What is? No. can't make it over there in time. This is hard. Come closer. Dude, are you forgetting about me? Oh, I get it now. Push the button. you. Oh, moment of stream.